The top 50 clients are basically the top 50 buyers who spends a lot in your brand. Simple, right? Number one. Number two, how do you pamper them? First, we do have a lot of these end of season sale, and you have to create that demand. Try to understand the consumer behavior, try to understand consumer needs. Always try to build a rapport with your client. Make sure you do not talk about politics and you do not talk about religion.
Hello, all, and welcome again to another episode of Just Send It to Marketing, a podcast where we analyze a brand, a story, a campaign, or an advert, but most of all things marketing. And if you have been following for the last 2 seasons, you might observe a different format for this season. In this season, we are having a guest marketing and a sales expert for every episode, from where you can learn insights, grow with their stories, their journeys, and hoping to just inspire every one of you out there. Today with us, we have Mr. Mihir Mayani. He is a luxury sales expert, a retail expert, if I may, and the store manager of the Balenciaga store in Geo World Drive in Mumbai. So to start with, Mihir, can you just tell us in short about your journey with marketing?
I've been working with luxury retail for close to 15 years now. Started my luxury, experience from Australia. I was working in Giordano for 3.5 years. Came back to India and started my working with Burberry. Working in India was a different ballgame altogether, because in India, the service actually goes beyond a certain level. Where in India, we are, customers love to pamper themselves, and we need to go an extra mile for that in India specifically. And within India as well, I think different markets play a very different role within India. For example, a particular city will have a different mindset towards as compared to Bombay and in Delhi. A smaller city, tier 2 cities will have a different understanding of how, to go about luxury. I've learned a lot that way in the last, 10, 15 years.
Nice. Thank you, Mihir. So how does consumer psychology plays a role, and how does it affect when you make a sale?
So see, in India, it's very different, to be very honest. In India, most of the customers do not really go deeper into what brand has to offer. I believe in India, some of the customers believe that they love this brand and they would like to have one in their wardrobe. That's about it. That's how their mindsets are. They could afford buying a particular brand, they will buy it. Most of the consumers, I would say that they would come to the brand to buy it because they love a particular product. They will not go deeper into the inspiration of the brand as to why this shoe is made. Why is this bag so rugged? In India, it's a very different ballgame as compared to Western, people. So, many customers would even enter the brand to see that I do not have this color in my wardrobe. So they would end up buying that. So that's the major difference in when an Indian would shop as compared to, a European or a Western people would shop. They would want to get into more detail, but in India, it's not the case most of the times.
Do you think it's a cultural aspect that plays a part here?
To some extent, yes, definitely. Because, like I said, the mindset is very different here. I mean, they are not someone who would want to know the technicalities of the product. It's the same consumer would go to UK, like an Indian basically would go to UK. They would not ask those technical questions. They are just there to, have a gala time. And then if they like it, they pick it up. But yes, some of the brands, like for example, Goyard, which is not easily available, then it's a different story. And sometimes what happens is the customers would want to buy a Goyard because their friends or family have one too. That's probably the only reason, that's why they want to buy it. Otherwise, no one really gets into the details of the product or the inspiration as to why is this color, what, particular season to follow, nothing on that sort.
Yeah. Andre, I think to add to Mihir's point here, we have Goyard store in Soho, Andre, in London. And when I visited Goyard for the first time, I didn't know that it has that much of demand in London. But again, the aspect of social proofing comes a lot in Goyard. Why? Because at the just besides Goyard, there's a store called Moina, which are interrelated. Basically, just the logos are different, tad bit different, but the product design is same. So social proofing is an aspect like crazy in Soho if you observe in Goyard. If you just go and just stand in front of Goyard, you might observe so much of consumer behavior just in that 1 hour of span. Because there are so many different consumers with different expressions who come to Goyard, come out of Goyard with a very different expression, and go to Moina with the same expression. So I think that is one observation that I did when I was in London, which was an interesting one for Goyard.
Mihir, I want to ask you. So, for example, talking about Balenciaga, you have any Balenciaga client is a VIP client, which shops from this kind of luxurious brand. But within your consumer, could you see the difference between a more ordinary consumer and a Balenciaga VIP that consumes Balenciaga rather than someone that just walks in the shop to buy one piece? Can you see that difference? And how do you organize your marketing in the store to obviously be able to communicate and be able to serve both of those two clients?
So see, as a brand, Balenciaga does not really believe in doing a lot of marketing. They do not believe in in-store events. We do not do a lot of these, events, external events at all. Basically, not allowed to do it because Balenciaga believes that giving access to the product itself is is a thing, for our regular customers. They, for example, we would like to do an event for the upcoming season during Christmas, but we were asked not to because they do not believe in such events at all. But in India, you would definitely do a lot of these CRM activities for these top clients. Now, again, how do you decide that who is your VIP, right? That's the most important question because all these customers, all these clients who could afford buying such expensive products are already at a certain level or already HNIs, right? And there are some who's of the who's. But who decides that who are the top 50 clients? The top 50 clients are basically the top 50 buyers who spends a lot in your brand. Simple, right? Number one. Number two, how do you pamper them? First, we do have a lot of these end of season sale. You do previews. You call them 2 days before the sale starts for the public. They are the first ones to enter the store. They can pick it up whatever they like. And that's how you build relationships when they would feel more pampered that, you did it for us and not for everyone else. The other things is that we do, not we as in Balenciaga, but other brands, what they do is they do these private dinners, lunches at a very, reputed restaurants. You take them out for dinners, for Diwali dinners, or, some Christmas lunches, brunches, and you do that certain, only again to the top 10, 15 clients. Now, the number one client or number two, two top customers, we even send them to fashion weeks to attend the brand's, the launch of the season. So that's how these few things which you do to your top VIP clients. And sometimes what happens is we have these celebrities coming in, or we have one customer who would walk in and we would shut the store for him, so then they can spend at least a couple of hours in the store, and then they can shop. We can call food, tea, coffee, beverages, whatever, and then we give them that space and time, and no one else is allowed to enter the store. So just few things here and there just to make them feel more, welcome, more special.
So one of that aspects in retail is again visual merchandising. So Mihir, I want to get to that fact as well. Like when a person enters a store, it could be a VIP client, it could be any consumer who enters the store. How important or how much of significance is given to VM in India versus in Australia? As it's the first touch point of any consumer when he or she comes to the retail.
So I think here, I don't believe the region is, a point to play. I think it depends from brand to brand. Now, for example, in Balenciaga, we do not have a facade. We do not have a window of how LV, Burberry, and the Gucci's have it. We just have a normal shelf, and that's about it. We do not do mannequins. We do not any specific VM per se as to how Gucci or LV will do. Obviously, we have certain brand guidelines of how to hang it, what to hang it, and where to hang it, but that's about it. But now, for example, if we go back to Burberry, you know how Burberry were. They're extremely detailed as to what goes where. Obviously, uh, you have to follow the brand guidelines that the first wall has to be the latest collection, and then so on and so forth. So, I mean, I think it's globally the same, and I think have to do it the same. So, because I feel that the uniformity across it, the same experience needs to be given. If any customer who walks in a Burberry in Australia or Burberry in India, they need to have the same feeling. Hence, the same fixtures, the same color, the same table, everything is the same, right? So obviously the products would vary because in India we are almost 1 or 2 months late as compared to the other countries because it takes geographically it takes time to for us to reach the after the products are launched. Other than that, I believe it's more or less the same, but obviously depends on how the store is set. In the sense, in Burberry, in Bombay, we have ground floor and first floor. Ground floor is accessories and women's accessories and women's apparels, and first floor is all men's. And now they're launching kids as well.
Have you been to the Burberry store in London by chance?
I have. I've been to the Regent Street, and it is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Massive, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. So now, Mihir, when you see London, it's a shift in facade and their VMs and their window displays, especially brands like Cartier, Bulgari, Tiffany, Harrods. They're pairing with Loro Piana currently. Each and every detail that they put across. So now, do you think Indian market is kind of adapting to that seasonal changes, except for Diwali and except for, I think, Black Friday, if I'm not wrong? Yeah.
Yes, I mean, see, again, I don't believe people here would really look forward to a season, but they just look forward to a new collection. Plus, also a good season to buy giftings. And even in India, we have the wedding season, right? Which it goes on for like 3 months. Good for people to go and shop for giftings. So, and also just after that, December, January, first week, usually again, the end of season sale starts. So again, people would step out and shop for end of season sale products and also the new launches as well. So I would say are not so much into Christmassy season that way, but it's just new collection launches and resort launches. And now I think the summer, autumn, winter, now the spring, summer collection will start launching soon in the stores. What I've understood from the consumer patterns, behavior patterns is that here in India, the major difference is the service. In India, luxury means, in one word, if I have to, define luxury, is service. That's about it. In Australia, I mean, it was not that the case. They would come in, they would shop in, shop out, and that's about it. Like just normal, a consumer would just come in. Obviously, you have salespeople making them understand products, technicalities, everything. But here, when I was working with Giordano, I think when I came back to India, the first job was with Burberry, and I could see the change that if I'm selling a Burberry, if you are selling a Burberry too, but if I'm going a step beyond, just selling, I'm sure the customer will come back to me. So here I would say the service matters the most because what happens is I was selling in Burberry for 5 years. So I built up that rapport with my clients that even today, it's been 5 years I've resigned from Burberry. Even today, customer would message me saying that, hey, Mir, I know you don't work for Burberry anymore, but can you please help me? I want to buy something from Burberry. So the rapport which I have built with my customers is always going to come back to you. Always. Whichever brand I would go to, I will take that customer with me. Obviously, they would end up buying from Burberry as well. But the rapport which I have built with them, it's something which is immeasurable. So here, the major difference is definitely the service. nothing beats that. Plus, we also do a lot of these events in tier 2, tier 3 cities where they do not have luxury brands. But these tier 2, tier 3 cities, they have a lot of wealthy people. Now they don't know where to go and spend. Obviously, they can always come to Bombay and, do the shopping, then obviously can afford going abroad as well. But we do these small events for these HNIs in their respective cities. We would take the brands there and then we would invite them to a hotel or a banquet or something. And they would come in and splurge. And they were more than happy to do that. Again, none of these, I mean, you would not do that in Australia. You would not do it in London. You know what I mean? So these extra steps, which here we take because our customers love that pampering.
The feeling of being special, it's very, very important in India. Like that's why I think we can relate most of it to hospitality as well. If we like when we talk about service, it's not just retail. It comes in every industry that we talk about in India. Actually, if it's a service, yes. So I want to talk about your watch experience as well, Mihir. So how are the industries different in sales? For example, of course, the behavioral patterns, the consumer psychology that keeps changing, and that is dynamic for sure. But is the behavior of a watch consumer significantly different than that from an apparel?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Because apparel is something which you will probably end up buying once or twice a month. We have these customers who would like the fit and they would say, give me all the colors available, right? I mean, they would just do that. But in watch is something very different. They would take some time to think about it. Obviously, there are different, again, set of people who buy watches. They're watch collectors. They would not even think twice. They would just say, I want to buy one. That's about it. But there are customers who are first-time buyers who are, or something. Sometimes they just collecting watches from brand to brand. So obviously they take some time to, choose which watch to buy because they look as if it's like an investment. And all these watches are not, I mean, they are not cheap, right? I mean, there are these watches who starts with 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 10 lakhs plus. So yes, there are people who are looking forward to buy watches, but they are probably takes time to make a final decision. And it's very different mindset when you think about to going and purchase a polo to a watch. So it is a different thing, but yeah, it is growing. I would say a lot of working people who are, people like us who are, who would love to buy, at least have one good watch in their wardrobe. Obviously, Rolex is something which is untouchable right now because it has premiums to pay, blah, blah, blah. But there are other watches like Panerai, IWC, they are in the range of 3, 4 lakhs, 5 lakh rupees, and you can always would like to at least have one in your wardrobe, a designer watch.
So I think marketing I think it differs in every market. So right now, to sum it up, we are speaking about events, end of the season sale. Some brands do the VM, some brands don't do the VM according to the brand guidelines. And so I think this marketing in a country or a city, as opposed to the marketing in London or Dubai or Milan, or any fashion capital for that matter, that differs because of the consumer.
And I think it's important for the brands to obviously understand the needs from different markets or different clients. For example, the events where you take your store to the client. So you take
exactly.
your collection to them. They don't have to do anything else rather than just swipe the credit card and pay for it. So you make that journey or that process, the purchase process, easier for them, and that's really important from a marketing perspective. More companies should be doing that.
And also, just to add on to it, so what happens at times is a lot of these brands, when they launch a particular product, what they usually do is they have these a big posters, or these big social media basically on pages where they launch a particular product. But what happens is those products are launched in Europe or US or all those places first, and it doesn't come to India. It literally comes 2 or 3 months later. So that actually affects the mindset of the people here saying that Indian brands never have those products on time. So, and everyone's on Instagram, right? And our customers are traveling quite often these days. Right? There's so many customers who would just fly down to London because they want to buy that product. They want to buy that bag. But now if we had started having such those products in India from day one, I think the luxury market will definitely grow way faster than it is right now. Because our customers, they want to have their hands on ASAP. So if there are these small little challenges here, and I think Burberry in India has started understanding that, and they do that sometimes seasonal wise. They launch the products globally together, including India. So that makes a big difference for the Indian customers as to that, oh, India also has this product. And they can always come back to you saying that, oh, I know they will have it.
How about like when we talk about rebranding, for example, and there was a whole shift in the brand personality, identity, and suddenly they were like bright colors, which Burberry was not known for at that point. And Mihir, correct me if I'm wrong. How does the consumer psychology gets affected here?
So I think, again, going back to the same point when I said that, to be fair, India, I don't think they go so much into detail. If they would like your collection as compared to the previous collection, they will buy it. It's just as simple as that. Obviously, sometimes, for example, in India, people who are working people, who are the CEOs or the some big position, CXOs basically of any company, who could afford buying a Burberry, they will end up buying a Burberry. It doesn't matter. Now, they do not care whether the logo is on your pocket or it's not there. I mean, obviously, some customers would prefer to have some branding, but not something which is all over it. Now, again, like Delhi customers would prefer a lot of branding as compared to a Bombay customer. Right? So now I think Christopher Bailey was the creative director back then. And after that, I think Riccardo Tisci joined and he got in the TB monogram, Thomas Burberry's monogram. I think that collection did really well. Everyone loved it. But what happened recently is that I don't know who the current, the designer is, but he got introduced a lot of oversized products. Now, that was not well taken. Now, Burberry is known for its classic shirts, polos, French coats, simple, stick to that. Hence, that collection didn't do well at all. I think globally, everyone just didn't like it. So now, again, it didn't really matter what season, who the designer is, the branding is. Customer has a mindset of Burberry, that's about it. They are going to buy a Burberry, they want a Burberry. Obviously, the aesthetics of the brand should remain same. I remember back then we used to sell a lot of men's apparels. It was one of the best sellers for us back then. And customers loved the t-shirt, the shirts, the polos, the round necks. They were a bread and butter. But over a period of time, it kind of stopped or reduced because the sizing changed. The looks changed. But now I think they have also realized that going back to the classics, and I'm sure it will pick up soon.
Yeah, I think they're bringing back the logo as well. So it might take a turn for sure.
For you, what is the attributes that your clients are looking on a piece from? Is it the quality? Is the social aspect of wearing that specific brand? What is it? Is the service? Obviously, you mentioned that, but if you had to pinpoint the top one, what would be quality, social proof, or anything else? So
quality is by default, trusted that you're buying such an expensive product. So that's by default, it's there. It's a quality product for sure. But I think they need some kind of branding. Like even if a small logo would do. They do not want something all over Balenciaga written. Even like a small Balenciaga or BP logo, that's about it. They are happy. Now again, a Bombay client would be happy to wear a Balenciaga logo. That's about it. But comparatively, a Delhi customer would walk in, the preferences would change straight away. they would want something very loud. They want something up with a product with a big brand, with branding on the product. So I think, yeah, it depends from where the customer is coming from. At Balenciaga, I think, they know exactly what Balenciaga is. So some of the products have very, very high branding. Some of the products have no branding at all. Shoes are something which anyone would know that it's Balenciaga. So that's, shoes is something which they will buy straight hands on, irrespective. But when it comes to apparels, they want some branding. In Bombay, I think a lot of people get influenced by Bollywood celebrities. So if you
Oh, okay.
see Bollywood carrying a bag, next day you will see 10 people coming in the store asking the same bag.
Yeah,
It's
I
incredible,
agree.
isn't it? Incredible.
I have experienced that at Burberry and I've experienced
Yes.
it at Balenciaga as well. Just recently, one of the biggest singer, I don't know if you know Diljit Dosanjh, he was at a concert. He was wearing a Balenciaga shirt, and he bought from us. And next day, we sold out on the shirt. Literally the next day, within 24 hours, we sold out on those shirts.
Incredible.
Wow.
That's the
So
power of influence, isn't it? That's the power of
Yeah.
your personal branding.
Yeah.
If you want to go
Exactly.
that line.
So I think if your one celebrity is spotted with your brand, I can guarantee you that you will have a lot of people coming in and asking you for the same product. And I've experienced that not once but multiple times.
Yes, I agree. I agree with Mihir's point, Andre, because when we were working and I was interning, there was this uh, very classic Burberry trench coat that a very famous actress, I think Aishwarya Rai or Priyanka Chopra wore it. Nick Jonas's wife, she wore the trench coat, and she was just heading to the airport wearing the trench coat. And I remember customers coming and asking us, "Ki, what about this trench coat?" They had taken an effort of researching about the trench coat. What code does it have? Is it available online? If it is available online, what's the link of it? If it's available in the store, can they try it? So they were very intrigued to know more about the product, because just because it was worn by Nick Jonas's wife.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the part. Yeah, interesting. And Mihir, what is how do you tell your customer if you come to a store and you sold out on a specific item? How do you manage the expectation? It's probably going to be frustrated, but how do you manage that with them? Do you take the order and deliver
You
in
just have
X,
to
Y,
be
Z?
diplomatically correct, saying that it's sold out. I mean,
Yeah.
and you have to create that demand, in their mindset that today you came asking for this product, it's sold out. Tomorrow, if when something launches, I'm sure those customers will be the first ones to enter the store and buy it. So, just have to be, and then sometimes what happens is these products are very limited, and obviously as a brand also, they not make it in mass. And, in India also now, for example, at Balenciaga, we have only one store across India. So our buying is any which was very limited. So once it's sold, it's sold. We are never going to get it back. So some of the customers are aware about it, that, if you don't buy it now, you're not going to get it again for sure. Some of the bags we actually get only in one or two for the Indian market. So, and now again, like that shirt which I told you, Diljit Dosanjh, who, bought that shirt. We literally just got one size, one product, one piece for one size. And we had like 4 shirts out of one which he bought, and 3 we got sold out in the next day. That's it. But now the other color got sold out as well, because they couldn't buy the white one, the black one sold out. So, you just have to be, when you are a salesperson, you exactly need to know, which chord to hit. And then, that customer is desperate to buy, you probably try to sell them the other product.
So I think, Andre, we are reaching towards the end of the episode. But just a few things from you, Mihir. First of all, thank you so much for taking out time and joining us. It means a lot. And thank you for sharing. I hope with this knowledge, people get a lot of insights. Just some two to three questions more. First question is, For the aspiring people who want to get into sales and who want to get into retail, what advice would you like to give them? Like, if you can just mention 3 points that they should take into account before starting their career in sales.
See, sales is something which it's not easy, to be very honest. It's not something that you would stand on the floor and start selling. I think just be patient enough. Try to understand the consumer behavior. Try to understand consumer needs. Obviously, the customer who enters your store has a specific, mindset when they enter the store. So just understand the body language. Understand the consumer's needs first. Do not jump into a transactional conversation. Try to build a rapport, because what I've understood in luxury is that you need to build a rapport with your customers one-on-one. I feel that if it's like an investment, the first day is always going to be a conversation, and probably the 10th day will be your transaction, your sale. But that those 10 transactions, that 10 conversations basically needs to be there. Always try to build a rapport with your client. Break the ice wherever you can. Make sure you do not talk about politics and you do not talk about religion. I think these two things you should not talk about your clients at all. Talk about weather, talk about sports, talk about everything else, but no politics, no religion. And once you break the ice with the client will always come back to you. And then after that will be a very easy, cakewalk for you, because the customer will trust you and they will end up buying whatever you sell them.
Nice. Yes. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much.
Hi, it's me, Prachi. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to check Mihir's LinkedIn profile in the description below. Also, make sure to subscribe or follow us wherever you are watching or listening to this. And please share this episode and leave a comment. See you again in 2 weeks. Bye.